Like you, every year I promise myself, with varying levels of success, that I am going to do better this year than last year. Over the years, I've used a lot of goal-setting methods and researched all about how to set goals. So to help us both this year, I put together a workbook, which I've linked in the description, full of the best goal-setting tools I have found. It's split into 3 parts: creating a vision, making a plan, and tracking your success. So, let's jump straight into part 1, creating the vision. In part 1, we are going to think big about what we want to achieve over the next 2 years by creating a vision. To create the vision, we're going to ask ourselves some questions. For this first question, name 3 things you want to achieve in the next 2 years. Each goal you give should be a stretch goal. A stretch goal is something that is outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be completely impossible, but it should be something that will give you a lot of growth. All of the 3 things I'm listing here are things I haven't done before. They are the kind of things I dream about, things that I see other people doing that inspire me, and in some cases make me a little bit jealous. The second question addresses a really important part of achieving your goals: focus. By focusing on one goal, you increase your chances of reaching that goal, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to achieve the others as well. By choosing just one and letting yourself focus on that for a full quarter, that means 3 months, you can start to build a foundation and confidence. Once you're on your way to this goal, you can add other goals. Having too many goals at once is something that most people do, and it is also one of the most common reasons that people fail to reach their goals. The next question helps you reflect on things that you've done in the past. It gives you a little confidence boost and reminds you that you were capable of similar things in the past, even if they were really, really hard. This next question on your biggest hope for next year is a really important one for your motivation. It's not often that we think in these grand general terms of what we want to feel like next year and what we want the year to look like, but we need to do this if we want to connect our goals to how we want to feel. This is how we make the journey towards our goals and achieving them give us the satisfaction that we crave. If we get that satisfaction as we go along, then we will have more reasons to keep working towards the goal. This next page is really exciting to me. I find it so inspiring to lay out my goals in this format. At the top of the page, we have that 2-year stretch goal that you chose on the previous page. Underneath that, you ask yourself, what do I need to have achieved in a year if I want to be there in 2 years? The next question asks, where do you need to be in 6 months in order to reach that goal in 1 year? The third and fourth questions come even closer to the present day and ask what we need to have achieved in this quarter and what we need to have achieved this month. The final question is what really gets us to think deeply. Here we identify what is the specific habit or action that we need to change or take to reach that goal in 1 month. Chances are this is the same habit you will need to achieve the 2-year goal. And the habit you need to change isn't always obvious. This is something that's discussed in the best-selling book, The One Thing, by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. The book describes how you can figure out that one thing that you need to do to make the biggest change. Take this example. I set a goal of running a half marathon, and to do that I need to train really often. My biggest hurdle in training is getting out of bed on time in the morning. My biggest hurdle to getting out of bed on time in the morning is being too tired to get up because I went to sleep too late. My biggest hurdle to going to sleep on time is tidying late at night, believe it or not. And why do I do this? It's because I have dinner late and I end up cleaning later. Why do I have dinner late? It's because I don't start cooking until late. So how can I stop cooking so late? This really comes down to being more prepared with cooking and shopping so that cleaning up afterwards doesn't run into the night. And maybe it also involves asking someone for some help. So it can be a long thought process, but the conclusion I've come to here is in order to run a half marathon in 2 years, I need to put myself in a position to start my tidying process and other evening habits at 9:15 or thereabouts. As time goes by, I might identify more details beyond the cooking issue that help me put myself in a better position in the evenings, but this is specific enough for now. So why is it so important for us to go through these steps of identifying our 2-year goal and linking it all the way back to a habit we can change today? To illustrate why this is important, I'm going to use a story from the book, The One Thing. Did you know that a domino can knock over another domino that is 50% bigger than itself? So if you set up 23 dominoes in a row, starting with a 2-inch domino, the 10th domino would be taller than your tallest friend at 6'6", and the 23rd domino would be taller than the Eiffel Tower. This story isn't just some fun math. It shows us the power of doing one thing so well that it makes everything else fall into place. In part 2, we will make a more detailed plan. We will do it in 4 steps, each with its own worksheet. In the first step, we will make a detailed plan and explore mini goals, as well as asking what kind of person we need to become in order to achieve the goal. The second step makes the goal setting process more personal to you by asking a few tailored and searching questions. The third step takes you through the well-known process of SMART goal setting. In this video, you'll learn a slightly souped-up version which adds on a few bells and whistles to the well-worn framework. The fourth step is called WHOOP. You might not have heard of it before because it's relatively new, but it is a goal-setting method based in sound research and has been popularized by a well-known thought leader in the positive psychology movement. This first sheet helps you to set a goal for the coming year. The first question on the sheet asks you how your biggest goal is connected to your biggest hope for the year. Another way to say this is, how does achieving your goal help you have the feeling or experience that you want to have next year? If you need an example, you can see how I answered the question for my own goal on the screen. The second question asks you, who do you need to become in order to achieve your goal? This question requires honesty. Honesty about where you currently are and what you need to change to get to where you want to go. It's a very probing question we don't have a lot of time for in this video. As you can see, during editing the video, I came up with a more precise answer to this question for myself. If you would like me to dive into this in more detail, leave a comment below and let me know. The third exercise on this sheet asks you to break down your goal into mini goals. You can call these milestones if you want. The point of these is to give you reasons to celebrate along the way. It's important to make sure that these goals are SMART, which you can see described in more detail on the screen. The final question reminds you that you have achieved difficult things in the past. It is important to continue to encourage yourself in any way you can, and this is one really effective way of letting yourself know that you have done it before and you can do it again. And on that note, you're about halfway through the exercise. Well done. Let's keep at it with our next sheet, which is all about personalizing your goal. You'll see under the first question that you need to state what goal you're going to achieve in the next 3 months or quarter, and give a reason why this goal is important to you. That goal is probably going to be one of your mini goals. The 4 questions on the rest of the page will help you personalize that quarterly goal. First, what can I do to make this goal journey more fun? This is something we often forget to ask on the road to achieving goals. We don't have to put goals and achieving things in one corner and joy in the other corner. These 2 things fit together a lot more than you think. For me, exercise can mean meeting new people and doing new activities together. Who do I have to become in order to achieve this goal? This time it's a bit easier because we're only thinking about that quarterly goal, which means more immediate action or change. There's a good chance though that your answer will be the same as last time, and that's the case for me. This 3rd question is a bit more complicated. For now, it's enough to think about how you can link your goal to something you care about. If you want to figure out what your own personal values are, check out our tutorial on this, which is linked below and displayed on the screen. The final question is something that we don't often ask ourselves. However, by knowing what we're willing to give up and not willing to give up in pursuit of a certain goal, we can set the goal at the right level of difficulty and give it a suitable timeline. This page sets out the well-known SMART goal setting framework, with a few additions from us at the end. S is for specific. Describe your goal in as few words as possible. M is for measurable. If you set measurable goals, you can track your progress easily. A is for achievable. Have you given yourself enough time to achieve the goal? R is for realistic. To make your goal feel more realistic, choose a mini goal that you could achieve this quarter on the way to your quarterly goal. T is for time bound. We already know we want to achieve this goal in the next 3 months, so set a timeline for the mini goal for the quarter. E is for exciting. This is a new addition by us, and it asks, what's the most exciting part of reaching your goal? Is it meeting new people, learning a new skill, getting a new job? Write it down and get excited. R is for rewarding. What about this goal will really satisfy you? Will it allow you to spend more time with your family or to have a positive impact on your community? The final exercise in step 2 of this goal setting workbook comes from the book Rethinking Positive Thinking by Gabrielle Oettingen. I just love it. Not only does it have a catchy name, Whoop, but in my experience, it's super effective in helping you overcome all kinds of obstacles so you can achieve your goal. Step 1. State your wish. Explain your goal in as few words as possible and make it smart. Step 2. State the outcome you want. What's the feeling, result, or change that you think achieving this goal will give you? Step 3. State the obstacle. Name the challenge you are likely to face and describe how it usually comes up. Step 4. Make a plan. This is where you decide in advance how you are going to handle the obstacle to reduce decision fatigue and stress. Together, these 4 steps spell Whoop. The space at the bottom of the page gives you a chance to summarize your entire goal and to set out your implementation intention. An implementation intention is simply an if-then statement that describes how you are going to handle a certain obstacle when it comes up in your daily life. So that's the end of step 2. You have your vision from step 1 and now you have your plan as well. Part 3 is where you summarize your goal so far, commit to yourself that you're going to work towards achieving it, and start tracking your progress. This first page of step 3 is what's most important for today. On the left-hand side of the page, you have a chance to restate your quarterly goal and the mini goals that you have decided you will reach on the way to it. And you also have a chance here to sign a little contract to yourself, a commitment to take a step every day towards your goal. We're also going to remind ourselves of the habit that we need to implement in order to achieve that goal. And on the left, a condensed 3-month habit tracker where you can place a little tick for every day that you stick to your new habit. The remaining pages in part 3 are a monthly check-in and a weekly check-in. You can use these during the quarter to track your progress towards your goal, along with using the habit tracker. When it gets to the end of the quarter, you can use the whole pack again for your next goal or to continue on the same goal if you haven't quite reached it yet. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this relaxing goal setting session for New Year 2022. We're Reboundings Journals, and you can find all of our goal setting and other personal development journals in our Etsy shop, which is linked below. For now, we just want to wish you and your family a happy and healthy new year, and especially a goal-getting year. If you think this video was useful, let us know by hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, or hitting the little bell symbol so that you get notified next time we upload a video.